Hey guys, welcome back to the Living in Detroit, Michigan channel. Hey, I know a lot of you have been asking recently some of the areas to live, outside of Detroit. In today's video, what I'm going to do is we're going to go and do a deep dive. One of those communities outside of Metro Detroit, and we kind of discovered this a little bit on a previous video. We're going to talk about Hartland, Michigan. But before I dive in, drop down in the comments below. Is there a municipality or city or area that you would like to know more about? I'd love to do a video for you guys to make sure that we can cover what you guys are looking for. Now, without further ado, let's go into a Google map little video, kind of walkthrough, right, of what it's like to live in Hartland, Michigan. Alright, so like I always like to do here, I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. So here we are. We're in the mitten, and you got the Upper Peninsula here. This is all Michigan. But today's focus, like I said, you're moving into Detroit, and we specifically mentioned we're talking about Hartland, which actually doesn't even pull up in this map. But let me just kind of give you an idea here. Here's kind of the southeast Michigan, more or less. It's the white area here. Just to kind of give you a brief idea, and here's obviously right here in Detroit. Now Hartland, what we're talking about today, is right here. We're right at that 59 intersection that goes right into kind of northern part of the metro, and 23, which goes into Ann Arbor, goes into Flint. You could take this road down over here into Lansing, or you can come down this way and go down into 96 and head into Detroit or many of these other different areas where you might like to work. So let's kind of get some of that scribble out of the way here. Hartland, Michigan. Now that's right here, this little guy, Hartland. And if you remember our video, we talked about the actual zip code of Hartland is very small. I'll kind of give you an idea of that. 48353 is Hartland, Michigan. Tiny little zip code, not a whole lot that it encompasses. So when I'm talking about Hartland, typically, like I said, I work with a lot of families. Typically what I'm doing is I'm talking about a school district, right? A lot of people that I worked with were defining down to Hartland School District, Hartland Consolidated Schools. Now when I'm talking Hartland, that's typically what I'm referring to, just the common customers or clients that I'm working with, you guys that are defining into schools. And this isn't to talk about schools, but Hartland is in the top 50 or right around that top 50. So I mean, it's one of those schools that we talk about a lot, and one of the communities that we talk about a lot. So that kind of gives you an idea, Hartland schools here. So first and foremost, Hartland area is in Livingston County. I know I talk about on a lot of my channels here, we talk about the different counties. Livingston County is one bonus is because of the taxes, right? So if you're living in the municipality of Hartland or in Livingston County, typically your taxes are a lot lower if you're living, say in Oakland County, which is right over here, or Washtenaw County, or over here in Wayne County, that kind of area. So taxes are typically a little bit less. I don't know if this matters to you or not, but typically it's more of a conservative county. So if that's something that matters to you, that might be something to consider as well. So anyways, so Hartland, we talked about the different ways you can get into town, right? So I mean, if you're living in Hartland, I consider this kind of a bedroom community, right? Where if you're living in Hartland, if you're driving in, the challenge with Hartland, I was pointing out this road here, this 59. Keep in mind this road here is basically a 4-lane highway. It's not super fast. So if you're going into Pontiac, it's not so bad. It's probably about 20-25 miles into Pontiac, and that really depends greatly on the traffic as it's moving out of there, where you're living in Hartland, as far as how that would go. Because sometimes if you're leaving work, maybe you got to go up here to 75 and cut across over here somewhere and come down, something like that. So 59 isn't that fast. But let's say if you're working down in down in Novi, somewhere in this area, there's certainly a lot of employment this way. You can come down 23 and hit 96. Come down into that way. I mean, that's still 25-30 minutes. But a lot of people that are living in Hartland or in that area, they either work in Livingston County or they don't really care about a little bit longer commute time because they want that that peace of mind. They want kind of get out of the hustle and bustle. They want to have space for their kids to run and play, and they want to have property to be able to do that. Another thing, if you're living in Hartland, like I said, if you're working up in Flint, in this Flint area. I mean, this is a straight shot up on 23. This is kind of a perfect area to live if you're driving up this way, because you can get into Flint, within about a half hour. But typically, it doesn't vary a whole lot, unless there's some road construction or something silly going on 23. But typically, I mean, you're not running into a ton of traffic going north on 23. The other side of it, if you're going down into Lansing, if you're living in Hartland, like I said, this is well, it's more of a two-lane highway on this side, going west from Hartland, down 59 and over to 96. That's more of a two-lane highway heading over to Lansing here. So that's going to take considerably longer. I mean, that's 45 minutes to an hour if you're going that way. I don't advise, if you're working in Lansing, to live over in Hartland. And on the other side of things, if you're going down into Ann Arbor, taking this 23 all the way down into Ann Arbor, that's certainly not a bad route to go as well. So that's 30, 35, 45 minutes, depending on where you're at. So that's kind of a quick idea as far as some of the locations and the drive time to some of those certain areas. And I know we talked about the different housing types that you can find here. It's in that video up here somewhere. We talk about the different options for living. Right? We have the lake living here. I know I did some videos on just even some of these houses. Right up here. You're living right along the lake. These houses are, this is an older neighborhood. You got little space to roam. If you're looking at some of these other neighborhoods, lake home neighborhoods, they might be a little bit more packed together, like this one, for example, down here in Brighton. I mean, a lot of these homes are more, packed in together. These homes are typically a little bit more packed together. That's very common for lake homes. That's just kind of give you an idea. So you do have some lake home living. You do have some golf course living. We talked about Hunt more in that video. There's not a whole lot of houses here, but if you're looking for that kind of 500,000 up to 800 or so, these are some beautiful houses up on the golf course. That's not the only golf course you can live on. I mean, there's certainly you got the Ironwood Golf Course here, which you're kind of getting it more into Hartland and Howell line there, but you do have the Majestic at Lake Walden, beautiful golf course area, but there's not a whole lot of houses on there. But you do have the option, let's say you want to live in a neighborhood. There's many different subdivisions or neighborhoods in Hartland, Michigan. You do have one of the most popular ones here. This is kind of like the San Marino neighborhood here, and the reason why people like these are typically around a half acre up to acre and a half or 2 acres. Some of these lots in here, a lot of these houses here are beautiful houses. They have large yards. The only downside, right, with a lot of these neighborhoods around here is they don't have the sidewalks. A lot of people are riding their bikes or walking on the streets. So that is a downside to something that you have to consider as well. So that's kind of, you're living in that neighborhood. But like I said, this one you have a little bit newer homes. You do have some space. You do have the golf course right here. So this is kind of, if you like that community, you like to drive your golf cart around. You can drive it on the roads, drive it to the golf course or whatever it might be. So if you like that kind of style, you do have a nicer neighborhood down here, which part of it. Pine Valley, Birch Run, this is kind of like the Deer Creek. And as we get into here somewhere, you do run into that, line for Brighton and Hartland schools here. But this is another nice little community. This is where you find a lot more of those houses or streets that have, tree lined. A lot of these, a lot of trees in here, a lot of privacy. But again, no sidewalks. If you're looking for, you want to live in a community in Hartland schools, you want to have some sidewalks, you got a nice one here. This is a newer built subdivision. This is by Capital Custom Homes, which we've talked about these a little bit. This one is the Capital Custom Homes. The other one is not Capital Custom Homes, but this is a beautiful subdivision. It's got nice sidewalks throughout. I don't remember the name of that subdivision, but this one is also very popular. It's got the sidewalks on both sides. It's got the tennis courts there, the baseball field. The name escapes me on that one. I'm sorry, but anyways, so there's a lot of different options of living in Hartland. Now, I mean, Hartland is, we talked about it in my video, and Hartland, I mean, it's literally like the village of Hartland. There's not much there. I mean, I go over here to the Village Pizza and Pasties once in a while. Yeah, that is pasties, not pasties or pastries or anything like that. But anyways, you go there. It's got a nice bunch of small little shops, and this is where a lot of the the elementary schools are. Elementary. You got another one up in up here, your Round Elementary. You have your high school over here, your middle school up in here. You got some new football fields going in here, baseball fields, that kind of stuff all up in this area here. So that's a cool little area. I think I have some videos up on that as well. But this is kind of your get together with the kids and stuff like that, for sports and whatnot. You do also have this Hartland Heritage Field, which is big for soccer fields and stuff like that, soccer and lacrosse, and a lot of that stuff going on down this way. But anyways, what I was touching on is obviously you guys want to find stuff to do, and as I was alluding to, you're not going to find a whole lot of that in the actual village of Hartland, but right down here, the busy intersection, you're right here at 23 and 59 is where you're going to find most of that. Most of the stuff to do there, right? I mean, if you're looking for, you see here, you got the Hartland Theater, you got the Panda Express, you got Taco Bell, you got Culver's in here somewhere, Culver's, you got Duncan, Coney Island is a popular place. Another little popular place is the Gus's Carryout. We go there for the breadsticks. We just had some of those with our lasagna there the other day. Rural King is a popular spot. Popular for some, right? We have chickens at home, so that's popular for us. The Mackles Table and Taps, a Target. Obviously, you got to have your Target, got to have your Kroger, got to have your Meijer, not Myers. It's funny, you see some of the Michigan things that people are like, yeah, we're going down to Myers. You got the ice rink down here, you got the bounce play center. But this whole area is really starting to expand, really starting to grow. Hey, I just wanted to pause real quick. I hope you guys are finding some value with this video. I love putting these kind of videos together. If you're ever looking to find out more about these areas, make sure you reach out to me. My phone number is down below. Make sure you can call, text, email, whatever is best for you. We want to make sure that we're serving you right. This market is certainly interesting. So what we can do is a deep dive to really find out what areas you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for specific schools or whatever it might be. We want to find the specific area that works best for you. Now, without further ado, let's finish this video up. You're not really that far. Like if you wanted to go into Brighton, if you wanted to head up to we shop at Costco a lot. You got Costco down here. It's maybe 20 minutes. So that's not so bad. So like I said, you do have your shopping options, you do have your recreation options with the different golf courses. You might not be looking for winter sports, but we do have winter stuff, right? We talk about Mountain Brighton and some of the other videos here. Mountain Brighton Ski Resort. You do also have Alpine Valley, which is another one. It's another small hill, but you do have some options there. So I mean, those are within reasonable distance. Hey, just let me pause real quick here, guys. Hey, I'd love it if you would hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I know it helps the algorithms kind of help people find it. I'd love to be able to help out you guys and help out more in the future. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep going here. We're almost to the end. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for the different golf courses, like I said, you got the Majestic, you got Ironwood, you got Dunham Hills, which is kind of on that eastern edge, getting closer to the county line here. Dunham Lake. I mean, if you're looking for lakes, and this is a beautiful lake. A lot of older homes, in the 70s and 80s. Older, mature homes, mature trees. Like I said, this is a lot of these neighborhoods. They don't have the sidewalks. I mean, you're biking or whatever around these streets, but it doesn't get that busy, so it's not terribly bad. But that's as you're getting closer to this county line. So like I said, if you're really want to think about the different taxes and stuff, tax implications and school districts. I mean, you go from Hartland schools over to here to you go over to Huron Valley schools here right at this line. But anyways, hopefully this has been helpful. I just kind of wanted to give you a brief idea. And a lot of people are thinking of these different areas that are outside of Metro Detroit, right? I mean, if you're, and this is more on the northwest side. So I mean, it really depends on where you're working, where you want to be. So I mean, let's say if you're working, up in this, Troy, Rochester Hills, Auburn Hills, Pontiac area. So something like Hartland will do you well. But let's say you're working over here down Livonia, down by the airport, Romulus. Maybe you're in one of these automotive plants down this way. Hartland might not be your best bet. I mean, maybe you want to look at somewhere around Ann Arbor, or over here by Saline or Milan. Something along those lines for those different communities. A lot of people are looking to move outside of the metro area. In a lot of these areas, like I said, you can find a home that has a lot more acreage, more privacy, and just kind of a little bit more of a laid-back life versus sometimes living in the metro area. It's hard to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city if you're living, in the city. Email, text, call, whatever works best for you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out to the end. Until next time, we'll see you on the Living in Detroit Southeast Michigan team.